Hello and thank you for buying the Wanless Pigeonhole unit. This unit was designed by an artist for specifically holding pencils, and today I'm going to show you how to assemble it and how simple it is. It comes with 5 components. You've got the sides, the top and bottom, the internal divisions, and you've got the back. A couple of extra items that you're going to need is some glue. I like to use a paintbrush just to spread the glue, just to avoid squeeze out. Some masking tape. Now if you're going to paint it, you're going to want a roller and a tray. I recommend getting these foam rollers with the tapered edges. It just makes for a better paint finish, I believe, and acrylic paint is what I recommend. Now I've supplied the sides already pre-taped because you don't want tape where you're going to glue. So I've taped these up for you just in case you want to paint it. If you're not painting it, just remove the tape straight away. But it also lets you know which ones are the sides as well. So when it comes to the painting, for the same process for the top and bottom as it is for the sides, you just want to paint one edge, not the back. The back is indicated by this groove. So just paint the front edge and paint the side with the grooves. Same with the top and bottom, paint that edge, paint the side with the grooves. We're going to paint the other side once the unit's completely assembled, and that just picks up any other little edges that needs to be painted and finished off nicely. Now when it comes to the internal divisions, you need to paint both long edges like so, and then you need to paint both sides, but you're going to want to do one, let it dry, flip it over, do the other side. Now every time you're doing a coat, make sure you do the edges again. Don't worry about how many times you do the edges, because the MDF's going to soak the paint in and you'll just get a better edge the more paint you put on the edges. I recommend 2 coats, and a 2-litre tin of paint will get you through 4 to 5 of these units, giving 2 coats. But I found when I went to Bunnings, a 4-litre tin was the same price as a 2-litre tin. So I would get a 4-litre so that if you want to do a 3rd coat, you don't have to worry, and you know, it's all in hand and everything will be sweet. Happy days. I'm just going to move this back out of the way for now, and let's start the process. So I'm going to start by grabbing the edges with the blue tape. Once they're painted, make sure you take the blue tape off. I'm going to leave it on as this is being posted out for a completed job. So we're going to turn it over, and then we're going to start applying tape in preparation for once it's glued and put it together. So all you need is tape so long, just enough to wrap around the edges, say between 60 to 100 mil long. One on the top edge, one in the centre, and one at the bottom. I'm just sticking these on loosely. You want to really press these down when you're doing it, but I plan to take these off, so I'm not pressing it down too firmly. So just keep going, running along all the top, middle and bottom. Now do the same to the other piece. Okay, now let's flip them over and just make sure that your tape doesn't stick to the table. So if you just pull them up, lay it down, pull them up and let it fall. Now when it comes to the gluing, how I like to run it is I put all the glue in the little grooves. You don't need too much. This is just, because these pieces are so thin, there's nothing you can do. There could be a little bit of bowing. And there's not much you can do about that, but this process of putting it together is going to take any bows out of it. So what you do is you put a little dollop in at the start of every one of these grooves, one in the middle and one at the back. Now don't put too much. The more glue you put in, the more glue you're going to clean up because it'll squeeze out. So this is just, and once it dries, it's not going to move. So you don't need too much, just a little dollop in each one of these little slots. And then, again, to prevent squeeze out, is a brush. Just brush it through. And just spread it out a bit, like so. You don't need to be too fancy about it. Just get it done. Always handy to have a wet cloth. I haven't thought to grab one, but you just grab a wet cloth and you just wipe any excess that gets onto the surface. And especially having been painted already, that will be very easy. Then what you do is you want to do the same to these edges, to the top and the bottom, dropping a little bit of glue in 3 spots, and then the same to the other side. Spread it out with your paintbrush. You don't have to spread it out, but it'll save you cleaning up later. So you just control how much glue you put in, and that'll control how much cleanup you have to do at the end. So then once that's done, all we need to then do is put glue on the short sides of the top and bottom. So you run a bit of glue along here, and a bit of glue along here, and then again, paintbrush, just spread it out, sit it there, grab the other one, same thing, glue along the short edge, spread the paint. Again, try and keep it as clean as you can. Then the assembly starts. So all we do is I'll start with this piece on this side so you can see. Now you want to have the front on the table. So this is the back edge, again indicated by the groove. Then you grab the top, and then, well, this tape actually helps for a visual purpose here. You're putting this where the tape is. So then, if you like that, make sure your edges are smooth and flat. Put the tape on. Get that nice and smooth and that edge right there. Put the tape on. Then you grab the other top and do the same on this side. Make sure again that your rebate is at the top of the unit. Get that level, make it smooth to your finger so you can feel that it's flush. Tape. Move it back, and then the last piece is the other side. So we come along, make sure that's smooth there. Tape. Pull it, give the tape a bit of a pull to make sure that you are pulling that together. And then this last edge. Now this unit's almost completed. So pull the tape on, make sure that's flush, pull the tape on. Okay, so now that's together. So now, if you just use this, the edge of this is square, you can just put it in there like so, and just make sure that the unit is square. So all I've done is make sure the edges touch all along there. It just makes it easier for sliding these in. Now if you keep this consistent in the same way that I'm doing here, have your side, your top, and then you put them all in the same way. So all you do is slide this in, like so, with the grooves up. I'll show you that again, just so we're clear. I'll slide this one down and grab the next one. So you want to have the grooves up. Put in the next one. And then the last one this way. Make sure they're all in and push down. Now what you do is you grab the other ones, and now it screws down. Now what you need to do is just line up every little groove like so. Slide it down. This is going to help square it up as well. Give them a bit of a wiggle to make sure they're in location. Down it goes. Make sure it's in top and bottom as well. And remember, this isn't glued, so It's a little bit more wobbly than what you're going to go through. Actually, it wouldn't hurt just to have a little hammer just in case, or a block of wood just to knock some things down if you feel you need it, but just don't hit it too hard. Now the last piece. Just want to push in the middle on the sides, in the middle on the top to make sure they're in. Now if I just get a little block of wood like this, like something, which I don't have anyway, if you just get a bit of a hammer, you just knock it, just make sure they're all flat. Actually I can do it with my hand, it seems to be going well. And the last thing is put the back in. So that I've made the back just the smallest bit undersized to make sure that it fits. And so if there's a little gap, that's on purpose so that it's nice and easy for you to get in. Yeah, the next thing, so that's now down. Now what we'll do, put a bit of tape in the middle here, push nice and firm, bring it right over the top, and then push the sides together, put a bit of tape. Now all we're doing is just making sure we've got no bows in this unit, and this top is going to square it up. So again, a bit of pressure. And we're going to do this, we're going to do this to the front as well, just to be sure. Just want to make sure that, you know, we're doing the best job we can at getting this nice and square. One on the end. One in the middle. Oh, see, I'm not putting too much pressure on here because I've got to take it all off. So let's just put a little bit more pressure there. Last one here. The pressure. Alright. Make sure that tape's holding. You'll push a bit firmer so that tape holds in place. And you'll see that's pretty good already. Just make sure that they're in. You can see it's not quite in there. There we go. Pushed a little bit too far down on the other side, so we just push them down, get them in place. Now they're all in place and it's all looking fantastic. Again, take it off. Oops, you got to stick that down. Take across in the middle, one through this center. And the same this way. One in the centre. Make that oversized. Make sure they're in. Pull it down. Down. You'll find this tape will stick better to the painted surface as well if you're painting it. And that's basically it. Now that'll be nice and square because the back tells me that it's square, and that's quite sturdy even without paint, even without glue. That's not going anywhere. That's really nice. And that's it, set to dry. Then once that's dry and it's glued off, then give it a light sand on the edges if you've got any sandpaper, just to make sure these edges here that they're stuck together are nice and smooth. If you're not too fussed about it, it's not a big deal. And then you finish off by painting all the way around. And there you go, that's one unit put together in under 15 minutes. So you can see how simple they are to put together. Obviously the painting takes a bit of time, but again, thank you for buying it. I appreciate your support, and good luck with your assembly. Bye.